I'm Namu and welcome to a new video. Today, I am very excited to watch this video with you, which is the Actman's video titled Why is Elden Ring so successful? And the reason why I'm so excited is because I recently beat Elden Ring. Yay, I did it. I haven't gotten to the Tree boss. But otherwise, like I've seen, the credits roll after the game's like final boss victory, and I did stream it on Twitch, so the boss should still be up at the moment, and I'm still in the process of uploading the game bots on my gaming channel, so it's not there yet. But I did it, and I can watch this video without being worried about spoilers. So I'm so excited. I hope he doesn't cover Tree part in this video. I don't think he will. So I think I'm safe to check it out with y'all. Let's see.
Come on. Come on, so close.
Yes. Run down.
You guys, Elden Ring is amazing. It's so addicting. You know what? This game is actually terrible.
Pain.
No, wait. Wait.
Wait for it, wait for it.
Yeah, no, I never want to play this again.
Kidding! I'm just pulling your legs.
Elden Ring is one of the greatest video games I have ever played.
So fun.
Hands down, not up. Hey, I killed those birds, baby. I'm the best. I'm the best there ever was.
Are you sure about that?
Look at this fucking shot.
He'll first try it.
What? It's a boss? It's a boss?
I think it's so good that like you literally go into the game for the first time and you meet this boss. It lets you know how like intense or like how cool some of the boss fights will be. Just because they give you a freebie boss from the very beginning as a sneak peek. I think it's so good.
What are you, what? I find it interesting that whenever my friends ask me, yo, should I play Elden Ring? Is it worth it? I've heard it's kind of difficult. That's a little intimidating. My answer is always, yes, if some people had asked me the same about Demon Souls or Dark Souls, my answer might have been different. But Elden Ring, yeah, I'll recommend that to everyone. Ladies and
I do think that it's a great way to get started. I haven't played any other Dark Souls games, but Elden Ring I found it to be beginner friendly, as I was playing through it for the first time. Like any Souls game, I've never played any other Souls games, and it has given me like almost like a confidence or courage to believe that I can also play the other like Dark Souls games. Even like I expect myself to struggle, but I feel like I can do it. I want to try it eventually. So I think it's a great way to get into Souls games and try.
gentlemen, we are witnessing one of the rare occurrences in the game industry where a new title not only lives up to the hype, but exceeds it somehow. That's not to say Elden Ring is perfect, because the only perfect video game in my eyes is Star Wars Connect, but it gets as close to perfect as you possibly can. Most of my complaints with Elden Ring come down to personal preference. The hype isn't just real, it's beyond real. It's
like also, you can play it in so many different ways. Like if you want to, like you can have so many different kind of builds, and even if you have like similar like stats, you can have so many different kind of like, I don't know, like different weapons, different skills, different incantations, spells. You can play it in so many different ways that you just have to find the style that you prefer and find satisfaction in.
Metaphysical at this point. If you're wondering why it's taken so long to...
It's gotta be patient, I think. Like, one of the reasons why I didn't like put death counter when I was playing through Elden Ring is because I didn't want to care if I die so much. And like lift that pressure off of me. And yeah, if you don't mind taking your time to like explore, learn, and like, you know, like laugh it off if you make like silly mistakes. Like it's so good, so fun.
Make a commentary video on Elden Ring, it's because I have a new crippling addiction, which is Elden Ring. It's corrupting my work ethic, and as soon as I'm done recording this video, I'm going to go play it again. Please send help. This is not a joke. Not only is it a great FromSoft title, but in an industry where selling out to the latest trend is the trend, Elden Ring stays true to the roots of its Erd tree. While everyone is praising how good of a video game Elden Ring is, I think it's equally important how it defies the trends of modern gaming. Would you be surprised, though, if I were to tell you Elden Ring is also
Who is doing this? Is it like his summoned Ash doing this?
Where's easiest game?
It's crazy.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
Oh my god.
Gotta watch your back.
Alright, well, maybe that's a stretch. But you know what's
Gravity
not a
wins
stretch?
again.
Downloading and playing Dark Nemesis, the sponsor of today's video. Whenever I'm getting destroyed in Elden Ring, you know what I do? I take a break and pull up Dark Nemesis on my phone, and I enter the multiverse. Engage in thrilling battles. Play anytime, anywhere, any when, any planet. Enjoy an exciting PvP experience. Squad up with your friends and duke it out in 10v10 battles. Get immersed within the epic 3D visuals. And use the weapon system to level up your spirit, wings, and companions. The spirits you get can be used as mounts or transformed into weapons, so you might have some tough decisions to make. My mount is a liger, and on it I channel my inner spirit of Napoleon Dynamite.
Pedro, just listen to your heart. That's what I do.
Amen. And you can download and try out Dark Nemesis today for free using the link in the description and the pinned comment. If you do, you're eligible for gift card giveaways and in-game rewards, so why not? What are you waiting for, chump? Go ahead and play Dark Nemesis today and conquer the multiverse. Thank you, Dark Nemesis, for sponsoring this video.
And now for something completely different.
What is modern gaming? You know, I throw that term around a lot, and I feel I should explain what I mean. It's basically like you could summarize modern gaming with the phrase scoreboard update. That's the best way to describe it. Modern video game releases by AAA developers have reached such an absurd level of incomplete.
Oh, dang.
Okay.
That's true.
What the fuck?
It's like, well, there's no scoreboard in the game, huh? Well, guess we gotta wait for the scoreboard patch. Like, imagine how far one has to fall to reach that. So many classic, awesome game franchises have become so eager to completely throw away their identity in chase of a quick buck. Sometimes developers completely...
I don't know why they would release games that are not finished. Like, don't you... It's like an artist, like, posting... Like, you can post your whip, but, like, say you haven't finished it, and artists posting it saying that it's a done, finished work.
Forget why their games were good, and they keep making shitty ones. I'm not sure what goes on if the games were good, and
I thought Paper Mario is good. I have a Paper Mario 1000-Year Door or something remake that got released this year that I plan to play soon.
Shitty ones.
And I thought that they're good. Are these not good?
I'm not sure what goes on at From Software, but they've only gotten better at making games since 2009. That's a long-ass streak, dude. They're not slaves to the will of EA or Activision. They get pretty good funding, apparently. I've never heard of From Software employees stealing breast milk. You know what I mean? Or exploiting children in an online gambling scheme. Valve, Gabe. They've never published a disaster as broken as Cyberpunk. If ever there was a time for From Software to fail, it was with Elden Ring. Holy shit! Holy shit!
This game is really
The
crazy.
Souls games, and yes, Bloodborne and Sekiro, I'm gonna call Souls games, it's just easier that way. But the Souls games have always been criticized for being too difficult. The story and game mechanics are too vague. It's not accessible to a larger audience. Cater to my needs, please. They've been criticized for being too challenging, you know? Give me baby easy mode, please. And yet, despite a good chunk of the internet demanding From Software change their method of operation, they haven't, and have continued their consistent legacy of success.
I think that's good, because, like, you can't please everyone. And clearly, like, for them to have this much success until the point, like, they have, like, people who love them for what they've done so far. So instead of trying to please everyone, for them to kind of master it in their own field was such a good direction to take.
Oh, shit. Oh.
So cool.
Ah!
Oh, what? I didn't know that could break.
What the fuck? What?
Oh no.
So now the whole should Dark Souls and Elden Ring have an easy mode debates can finally die, right? Because clearly this game is much more accessible.
And also, this Elden Ring doesn't need an easy mode because you can turn it into easy mode if you want it to be an easy mode. Like, you can level up vigor and stuff. Like, you can level up your character as much as you want. Like, grind for those runes. You can, like, take, like, different kind of, like, build that feels easier mode.
You've seen the numbers. Elden Ring has obliterated the record for peak concurrent players on Steam and viewers on Twitch out of From Software's titles. And you have to ask,
I'm so excited for the DLC too.
Why is this game so
it's
successful?
Up, I can't play because right now I'm not able to stream. But man, once I'm back and I can post more videos, I can stream again. I'm gonna be going to Halictory, and then after that, I'm gonna get the DLC. I'm gonna play. I'm so excited.
Well, it's not just a kick-ass marketing campaign. It's not just having George R.R. Martin's name associated with it. It's a genuinely good video game that has taken out a lot of the frustrating aspects that have turned away a general audience. I made a whole video on the subject.
I'm scared about playing Dark Souls though. I will play, but this like it being not as accessible as Elden Ring. I just hope that it doesn't feel as like too awful of a change. I hope that it'll still be enjoyable in its own way.
Of an easy mode and all the negative consequences that would have. For those in the back that missed the memo, difficult does not mean inaccessible. Is it difficult to shove a dildo in your ass? Probably. That doesn't mean you can't do it.
Okay.
Difficult does not mean it's inaccessible. That's maidenless talk.
I am afraid. I'll maidenless.
I think difficult just means like also you may have to try, you know, many times to get it, but once you get it, it's so satisfying. You know?
I get bitches.
And play the role of maiden.
Okay, alright, I'm down. And I'm so glad that From Software was actually able to cater to these people asking for an easy mode without listening to any of their terrible ideas. You see, Elden Ring is still insanely challenging in all the right ways.
Yeah, you can make it like a mega challenge mode too by like not upgrading and stuff.
Whoa! Whoa! Oh, I'm alive.
It's so smart. Smartly done. Like you have like all these different levels or like challenge modes built into the game. And yeah,
we can do this. Good. As many are discussing the difficulty of bosses like Margit the Fell and Star Scourge Radahn, which, Jesus, talk about a couple of badass names to have. In some ways, Elden Ring is more difficult than previous titles, and in other ways, it's easier. But, you know, after 80 hours, the fact that I'm still finding crazy, unique bosses is just, it's insane. The level of content that is in this game, and so polished.
It's so crazy. Even like the setting, the world, so like every area is so memorable.
You know, From Software didn't make the dodge, roll, block, attack gameplay loop easier. They just made it less frustrating. I triggered a boss fight without actually... This is really bizarre. I just triggered a boss fight without going into the boss room.
That is
you guys
weird.
see this? Oh my god!
That's so weird. It must be a bug.
Wall. What the fuck?
That's
Oh my god, he's gonna
crazy.
kill me! Elden Ring introduces 4 new gameplay mechanics that allow more opportunities for players to retaliate and be aggressive. Be aggressive.
Be
I think this is where we see
aggressive.
some Bloodborne DNA
Oh gosh.
in the mix. Jump attacks, summoning AI, posture breaking, and guard counters.
Oh, I didn't know that jump attack would count into this. I love jumping attacks.
Where you might have had to roll or block a sword swing in Dark Souls 1, in Elden Ring, some attacks can just be jumped over, leaving you a wide opportunity to come down
more
swinging
damage.
with a jump attack, which can then lead to posture breaking. It wasn't
Yes, sir.
exclusive in Sekiro, but it was definitely more fleshed out. Basically, every enemy has a hidden bar to indicate when their posture will break, and they become susceptible to a riposte. And those are the
Yes.
moves that do the big, beefy damage. Charged heavy and jumping attacks build up this bar faster, and you can totally play around this if you want and be more aggressive, but you can still play the classic conservative style of like, okay, one hit, backing off, one hit, backing off, and chip your enemies down. It's called options, baby. Then there's guard counters,
Yes,
which add
sir.
some utility and offensive power to shields. Hit R2 after blocking an attack, and you hit back. Simple as that. Finally, there's summoning, which isn't entirely new, but how it's treated is. Instead of just relying on other people and the occasional AI summon for only specific bosses, now players can summon 50 different types of AI.
I love the summons. Like I tried to fight some of the bosses alone without the ashes, but overall it just feels fun and cool to also have like feel like you have allies with you, because this is a single player game, but kind of gives you that feel of like you're playing with a team. And I love like the summons for the animals, especially in the game. Shout out jellyfish.
Companions for almost every boss fight. I think the Evergalls prevent you from summoning, which is cool. But otherwise, you can upgrade those spirit ashes and just send out like 5 golems to attack your foes. Yeah, fuck them up. Fuck that guy.
Because also sometimes it's like you can get through an area if you want to, like by yourself. But then if you just want to just like breeze through so you can get to the part you want to be in, it's nice to like kind of make that faster for you by summoning as well.
Since your summons take some aggro, well, it gives you more chances to be aggressive and get some swings in. What From Software has accomplished is making a Souls game that gives players more options than
Well, that's
ever
a
before.
cool. That's an incantation?
That gives players more
Must
options
be.
than
Yeah.
ever
Oh, that's
before.
cool.
Now,
I think I have it, but I never used it.
what's the one thing you hated most about dying to a boss? Was it
The walk back to the boss is the worst.
losing your souls? Being humiliated,
No.
perhaps? Did you somehow die to Pinwheel? You godless bastard?
Eh?
No. The most frustrating part
The
of
walk
losing to a boss was having to run back to the motherfucker.
That's the part I'm worried about when I play Dark Souls in the future. Cause Elden Ring is quite good with like the amount of graces around the map and also like the stake of Marika. Oh, so that's what I'm worried about the most. Oh my gosh, this is such a big travel. Yeah, I'm really
It's what I
worried.
like to call the loser's walk. And it's a path I tread many
The
times.
meditation you take as you walk, it's like, why am I like this? Why did I do the thing that I did?
I swear to God, the reason the Beta Chaos is so hated in the community is because it's a cheap gimmick boss that can kill you right away. But if you die right away, you have to take 5 minutes to walk back to
dang.
it. But this is where From Software shows their innovation. A great new idea are the Statues of Marika. Respawn points in certain areas, typically next to bosses. They refill your Estus and everything, but only if you die. So they function differently than sites of grass. I can think of maybe 3
Grass.
areas I've encountered where I actually had to run past an enemy before fighting the boss again. So if you get grafted by Godric, it's like, poof, you're right there. Get back
Yes,
up,
sir.
champ. I can't tell you how
It's so
impressive
good.
it is that this game doesn't rely on having you replay sections of levels, given how large it is. For what is essentially a Dark Souls 4, this is a perfect design choice. Notice I said
Another.
design choice because Dark Souls 2 was made fun of for having a bonfire that you could literally just see down the hall. Like, it was a joke. But the Statues of America basically are like, okay, we're making it convenient for you to fight the boss again. But this is kind of a personal preference thing, right? Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1 especially put emphasis on dangerous enemies the player would encounter before every attempt at a boss fight. I like how those games handled difficulty because it felt like the checkpoints were really checkpoints. It was an endurance run where you had to conserve your health. The challenge in Demon Souls wasn't so much the boss fights, but rather what condition you were in when you got to them. You literally have to get poisoned before you fight Quelaag. Like, it's unavoidable. And then you've got Demon Souls who's like, oh, you fucked up? Yeah, you did. Little bitch boy, you died to some skeletons, replay the whole level. Oh, what's that? Half
I'm
your health
scared
bar's gone,
now.
and the
Oh
game's
my
more
gosh, I'm so
difficult.
worried.
World tendency. So the gameplay loop that would
I got
often
spoiled by Elden Ring. Oh
turn
no.
people away would kind of go like this. Die to a boss, try to get back, try not to die to the enemies on the way, fuck that up, lose your souls, and then get pissed. So I ask you this question. What is a fair punishment for death in a Souls game? In any game? Because unless we're putting quarters in the arcade machines, the only thing a game can take from you is time, right? And your wallet if you're not a responsible human being. But Elden Ring is impressive because it doesn't even attempt to waste your time.
True.
Once you get through an area, you rarely have to go back through it again.
I think it's
Shortcuts
so,
cut
I
down on
prefer
travel time.
this so much more. Just like, cause then I think even if I die to a boss over and over, I feel like I'm constantly playing, I'm constantly entertained, I'm constantly trying over and over, instead of like having like that long walk where I'm just trying to get through, and that time just feels like a chore rather than like a playtime.
Levels have multiple routes to get to the objective, more sites of grace than bonfires, and yet the game is still very challenging. Oh, baby. Oh,
Let's
get
go.
that shit out of here. From Software has basically taken the Demon Souls difficulty and modernized it because it emphasizes the gameplay as the challenge more so than it does punishing you for failure. Especially since Demon Souls was an homage to old school difficulty, the Loser's Walk was a way for older games to kind of pad out the runtime. What I respect so much about From Software is they found a way to yet again make the game easier, but in ways people didn't expect. Without just tweaking numbers, without just giving you a separate option in the menus. And just as you can make the game easier or harder for yourself, you can also set parameters to make it more challenging. Personally, I don't like to summon allies for every boss. I like to try and feel it out and see if I can do it without summoning, and then if I can't, then I will. It's just play it how you want. You can easily succeed in this game if you really want to cheese it. And here's a crazy crackpot idea. If you're stuck, go somewhere else. I, like most players, followed the advice of that dickhead who called me maidenless, which is untrue. I get bitches on the daily. And I headed straight for Stormvale Castle, where I confronted Margit the Fell with a club and scraps of armor. It didn't go well. And that was the game telling me, hey, go explore this massive open world we spent like 8 years developing. It's like, yeah, I could bash my head and try to beat Margit at soul level 8, but why do that when I can explore and get stronger and then come back with a better chance? The non-linearity basically gives you infinite time to prepare for those essential boss fights. And there are some trade-offs to Elden Ring's design. You might find yourself...
Man, I'm feeling like nostalgic seeing these like clips of like earlier bosses like this right now, because it took me so long to beat the game because I had to take many breaks in between and stuff. And also overall, I'm just a slow player with games in general. But yeah, it was such a good time.
Over-leveled in an area that no longer poses a threat, but even so, Elden Ring is the kind of game you still can't be too overconfident in. Whoa.
What happened?
Whoa, what the...
Didn't
What
get
was that
killed by the
bullshit?
ball.
You know, I've always found it strange that FromSoft games have been criticized for not having a quest log. Where is the map?
Oh, that
How
was
come
a
I don't have
struggle.
100 markers in a checklist of...
That is awful to look at, but I do kind of wish that there was a way to like track quest log. Although I do understand the benefit of not having it, because I think whenever like I didn't have to like keep like a checklist, like a to-do list in the game. So that was nice, but then also I think it would have been nice to be able to have like a way as a reminder, because there's just so many things going on in the game.
chores to do on screen at all times. But that's the way
That
Zelda
was
has
awful,
been,
though.
and nobody's fucking batted an eye at those games. It's the same thing, dude. Adventure games should just let you adventure through them. You know, you don't have a nav point or a compass that's pointing you in the go-to direction at all times. And I like that. The freedom to go to dangerous areas when you shouldn't is fun.
Yeah, no, but I think that I just wanted not like, oh, go here to do next, do this. Like, not that kind of guide, but I wish there was like a list that just kind of helps me track what I have going on. Not necessarily what to do next, but just like which ones I have said, like which ones I have activated, so that I don't forget them. Because there are a lot of side quests that I just like totally forgot, or like ended up stop caring because I felt like I'm too far into the game that they no longer matter and stuff. So not in the way that's like too much hand holding, just like a simple reminder of the side stuff. I think that would have been nice, and I don't know how that would look, but I wouldn't want it to also like the game to tell me like, now do this, now go here, don't go there. Like, I wouldn't want that either.
To fight bosses out of order, or discover huge labyrinths by complete accident. That's what an open world RPG adventure is all about. And Elden Ring in this regard is nothing less than a 10 out of 10. Even if certain bosses and enemies are reused more than a handful of times. And this
I
open
actually
world
liked
doesn't make
it to see like the tree spirit avatars, like the gargoyles, like a lot of the enemies, to see them again. I enjoyed it because also like sometimes they would be like a different difficulty level, or they'll be like slightly different but not very much. But also because like I've encountered them once or twice, right? And I would feel more confident if I see another one, and to find myself to like be able to like fight them more comfortably or more like skillfully. It felt satisfying. So I personally like to see them like throughout the game multiple times instead of just being like, oh, only once, you know? I liked it. I like that.
a game like Dark Souls 3 like, ew, no open world. No, it's different strokes for different folks, right? In Dark Souls 3, the game starts off and it's like, okay, you have to beat Udex Gundyr. You're not going anywhere until you do that.
That's what
and
I
Elden
heard.
Ring's like, well, you can skip the tutorial. I mean, why not? Fuck it. I think Elden Ring is a prime example of the power of iteration. You know, making a similar game to what has proven to be successful and refining, changing certain elements of it. If you do that long enough, eventually you plateau and your work just builds upon itself. Elden Ring is successful for almost the exact same reasons that Smash Bros. Ultimate was successful. It's a combination of every good idea they've ever had before, built under the supervision of its original brainchild. If you have a winning formula, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just keep rolling, baby. When I
True.
look at games like KOTOR 1
True,
and 2,
true,
I
true.
think, thank God we have 2 of these. And then when I look at Paper Mario, I'm like, thank God we have 2 of these.
Oh, okay. So Thousand Year Door is one of the good ones, or one of the 2 good ones. In his opinion, I've not played any Paper Mario games, but I do plan to play this one soon. I'm thinking of playing the Elden Ring DLC most of the time, and then like once a week I'll play this as like a comfy game. But I'll be playing the remake version. I look forward to it. So yeah, this is on the good list.
I don't know how they keep fucking Paper Mario up, but they've done it 3 times in a row. In a world where game developers like DICE exist and think that their core audience is disposable and worthless, From Software, under the leadership of Miyazaki, has never strayed from this ideal. Give your fans what they want, please your core audience, and everything will fall into place. Right? They're still iterating on the core mechanics from Demon's Souls, a game that was largely considered niche until Dark Souls came along. Impressive set pieces, dynamic level design, pattern-based boss and enemy encounters, trial and error difficulty, crushing challenges, but numerous ways to overcome them. It's the same game. Yes, Elden Ring reuses some assets, animations, weapon types, blah blah blah, but it has never had a negative effect, if any, on my gameplay experience. This is coming from someone who put hundreds of hours into Dark Souls 3, the game most similar to Elden Ring. You've got the freedom of choice of where you go from Demon's Souls, the connected world from Dark Souls 1. Probably the best mechanic Dark Souls 2 introduced, power stancing, has returned to my surprise. Using 2 weapons at the same time unlocks a new moveset. We have the cool weapon skills and fluid combat of Dark Souls 3.
Why is he glowing red though? Oh wait, no, yeah, why is he glowing red? Is it because he went to someone else's world?
Moveset. We have the cool weapon skills and fluid combat of Dark Souls 3. There's larger groups of patrolling enemies like from Bloodborne and Sekiro. Stealth and jumping, though not as advanced as Sekiro, add a whole new layer to the Dark Souls formula, providing further options for player engagement. In fact, the Bloodborne mechanic of healing damage you take is a great rune in the game. They literally just put that base mechanic in the game as an option. Granted, I just activated it after 80 hours, but
wait,
still,
you gotta
it's
activate
an
something?
option.
Oh, it's a great rune option. Got that. I just didn't play around with the great rune stuff, so it took a while for him to click in my head.
A great rune in the game. They literally just put that base mechanic in the game as an option. Granted, I just activated it after 80 hours, but still, it's there. Elden Ring is basically Cell from Dragon Ball Z. It's got a little bit of DNA from all of From Software's titles to create the perfect warrior, the perfect game.
Well, one might say that we're brothers.
What?
I think what it boils down to is just how impressive From Software's legacy is and how they continue to do that, even amidst.
What is he doing? Like, why is he in with so many people in a voice call? Oh, maybe he was streaming this to his Discord. Maybe. Aww.
The crisis of modern gaming. This game shouldn't work. To have such a massive world with so much content and to keep that quality bar extremely high, it's just, I don't know how it's feasible. I haven't beaten it yet. 85 hours in. It hasn't gotten old for me. It might be ballsy to say this, but I think Elden Ring might have perfected video game difficulty and defied the trends of modern gaming at the same time. Now, let us sit back and stare at this massive accomplishment.
Nicely done, gentlemen. Your work here today has made the Chancellor a very happy man.
Also, oh my gosh, he didn't mention, but the music in this game is so good. It's amazing. It makes the fight feel like more grand. It's so good.
No, 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 no.
Oh, there's a pixel. No, this is 1 pixel. Hit him. This is 1 pixel. Poison. Let's go.
So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe to the Act Man for more awesome content. Don't forget to check out Dark Nemesis, the sponsor of today's video. Alright everyone, that's all I got for today. This is the Act Man signing out. Peace!
Peace. Great video! It was so good. I'm happy now I can watch some of these Elden Ring videos. I look forward to watching some lore videos as well for Elden Ring, which I've been waiting on until I beat the game. But I'm gonna wait until I explore Halictree fully before I get into those. But I do look forward to it so much. Yeah, and thank you for watching this one with me. And I'll see you in another one. So until then, take care. Goodbye.